Voyage through the heart of the storm of anxiety. You are alone, floating in the warm waters of the peaceful shallows of a beautiful secluded lagoon. You look towards the far horizon across a mirror-calm mill-pond sea. Mewing gulls circle and feather the silky breeze above, where a flock of small white clouds drifts lazily across the sky. Distance, you notice the worrying wolf-grey shadow of an approaching storm. The wind brings a chill of fear as you keep a watchful weather eye on the approaching tempest. Deep down inside, anxiety starts to gnaw at your peace of mind. You are no longer safe and secure in the sunshine and warm waters of the shallows. Instead, a sinister undertow is drawing you out of your depth into the restless, choppy seas of rising, generalized anxiety. Caught in this powerful and relentless rip, you feel powerless to resist. Relentless mounting waves of worry sweep you ever deeper into ever darker waters. Beneath the darkening sky, you fearfully tread water as you ride the rise and fall of the mountainous peaks and troughs of the increasingly angry sea. The faraway safety and security of the shoreline fades away into the deepening shadows of the approaching storm. You find yourself all alone on a wide and angry ocean. Above, a wild, tumbling sky. Below, dark fathoms of dread. Battered by rollers of rising anxiety and fear, you fight desperately to keep your head above water, but you're fighting a losing battle. With blinding sheet lightning flashes of panic and thunderous rollers of fear, the full force and ferocity of the raging tempest surges down upon you. With mounting terror, you struggle and flounder. Hopeless and helpless, you're swamped by towering waves of fear and doubt. The shrieking gale of confusion whips spray from the crests of the mountainous waves of insecurity and uncertainty that threaten to crash down upon you. Suddenly, you're hit by a blinding direct lightning strike of full-blown, adrenaline-spiking panic. Overwhelmed, paralyzed, drowning helplessly as you're sucked into the depths of total, abject, thought-annihilating terror. Nothing feels as bad as finding yourself in a difficult place or threatening circumstances and feeling like there's nothing you can do. You don't have to feel like that. Rather, just imagine you're a ping pong ball, a tiny speck skipping over the mighty waves of a tumultuous ink-black ocean. Then, with a bright surge of relief, you will realize that, like the ping pong ball, all you have to do to cope is float. Like the ping pong ball, you cannot sink. Now that you know you cannot sink, you can start to think. Like the wise old captain, you know that without familiar stars to guide you, you are at risk of running aground, sinking, or even drowning. But the captain is a veteran who has survived 1,000 storms. He knows to keep a sharp lookout for a lighthouse. So, like the captain, as a sensible and prudent storm-tossed voyager, you batten down the hatches and start searching for a beacon of hope pulsing through the roiling darkness of the storm. Eventually, you spy the faint faraway loom of a lighthouse. Though it is no more than a tiny pinprick of light, it feels like the heartwarming touch of the steadying hand of a trusted friend. It's a lifeline, and it's all you need to survive. Now you have a frame of reference, a guiding light, a candle in the window, a familiar star to steer by. You now know how to set a course that will steer you well clear of danger and help you navigate away from the perils of shoaling reefs and ragged rocks. While you may long for the warmth and safety of the shore, you know that the wisest course is out to sea. Like the wise old captain, that cunning and crafty salty sea dog in command of the ship braving the heart of the hurricane, you know your safety lies in riding the storm out on the open ocean, far from hazards hidden by shadows and the heavy fog that shrouds the deadly thundering surf of the treacherous storm-lashed shore. You realize that what you need to do is face the storm one wave at a time. You understand that the key to survival lies in facing your fears head-on. You turn the helm and point the bow of your metaphorical ship into the waves to ride out the heavy weather. Hour by hour, minute by minute, and second by second, you survive by facing your fears one step, one wave at a time. Like the ping pong ball, you cannot sink. The seas may be high and the storm may rage on around you, but the king high tide of fear and anxiety will inevitably start to drop. Like the ping pong ball, all you have to do to cope is float. Face your fears and go with the flow out to the relative safety of the open ocean. Now you are empowered to simply float above the fury of the storm and feel the floodwaters of anxiety falling away. Floating is coping. To survive the storm, that's all you have to do. To cope, just float. Relax and let the waves of worry surge past under you. No matter how massive, wild, threatening, or treacherous the sea, even though you're just a tiny, inconsequential dot of white on a wild, wide at sea. Like the ping pong ball in the raging black heart of the storm, you simply cannot sink. Now you can take heart and draw strength from the knowledge that all you have to do to cope is float. Up and down, peak and trough, rise and fall. Breathe in and out, ebb and flow. When you accept that you are powerless in the face of the storm of anxiety, you gain the strength to manage your fear, which in turn empowers you to endure. You acknowledge that fighting the rip, trying to turn back the tide and struggling against the current is pointless. It dawns that like the ping pong ball, you can never sink. With a liberating surge of relief, you realize that you can never really drown in the sea of anxiety. No matter how bad it feels in the moment, you cannot die of a panic attack. It is an immutable law of nature that bad weather never lasts forever. Every storm of anxiety, no matter how bad, must and will come to an end. You are no longer truly powerless. Now you know exactly what to do. Go with the flow and float to cope. Like the ping pong ball, you cannot and will not sink. Like all things, the storm will pass. In time, the wind drops. The waves subside. Rosy-fingered dawn paints the promise of a perfect, peaceful sunrise in the brightening sky above you. The sun peaks over the horizon, and you're bathed in warmth and light. Flecks of silver and gold sparkle and dance across the ripples of the tranquil settling sea. You are gently borne back to the safe haven of shore and the reassurance of familiar solid ground underfoot. Once more you look up at the clouds in the clearing sky above you. Like thoughts, they drift across your mind. Different clouds, different shapes, different thoughts. Big, small, funny, sad, threatening, and benign. You reflect briefly on just how often one dark cloud on the horizon can trigger the magnification of our worries and fears until they bloom into what feels like a full-blown panic-causing catastrophe that sucks us back into the endless cyclonic repetition of the storm. So, keep a sharp weather eye out and don't let yourself be sucked back into the storm. Storms are a force of nature. Sometimes you will find yourself in their path, sometimes they will pass you by. But every storm will come to an end. The less you fear the storm of anxiety, the better you will be able to resist the urge to focus on the dark clouds of worry that have the power to suck you back into the fear and the darkness. the better you become at enduring and surviving your personal storms of anxiety, the more you can revel in the simple joy of the fine weather and warm sunshine of now. Float, cope, breathe in and out. Eventually, with a little time and experience, you will make headway. And after you have survived a personal storm of anxiety, or two, you'll be able to look back and see just how far you've come. And you'll realize it was all just a storm in the teacup of your mind.